Hi campers, it's Mrs. Gray, and I'm going to be reading our language arts story with you today. Superstorms is our story, but I wanted to start off with reviewing some of our vocabulary this week. So I'm going to use these sentence starters to help us be thinking of words, and I want you to complete them. So I'm going to read the first half, and then I want you to say the rest, depending on what the word means. It is good to measure accurate amounts of the ingredients when we cook something because... Why? It is good to measure accurate amounts of the ingredients when we cook something because the weather threatened to rain when... It's not good to make an abrupt stop on your bicycle because... It's not good to make an abrupt stop on your bicycle because... Hurricanes are severe storms because... Hurricanes are severe storms because... A giant might overwhelm a man because... A giant might overwhelm a man because. So remember, when we do those sentence starters, you have an opportunity to figure out what the words mean. And learning what those words mean are good to help you understand the story. So we're going to be reading Superstorms, and we've got some more vocabulary that we're going to be learning. So I'm going to go over the definitions with you. To destroy something means to ruin it. Destroy. D-E-S-T-R-O-Y. The wave destroyed the sandcastle. How can you destroy a block building? Grasslands are large land areas covered with grass. Buffaloes live on grasslands in Yellowstone Park. What other animals might live on grasslands? And we did a lot of habitats in science, so I bet you can think of a lot of animals that can live in the grasslands. To prevent means to stop something from happening. To prevent injuries when riding a bike, wear a helmet. What else can you do to prevent injuries? I know right now, to prevent from getting sick, you can make sure you're washing your hands, sneezing or coughing in your elbow. Uprooted means torn or pulled out to the ground. The tree in our yard was uprooted by a very strong wind. What does an uprooted tree or plant look like? Violent. Violent means showing great physical force. The violent storm broke windows and flooded houses. How would you feel if a violent storm headed towards us? So violent definitely is an adjective that means that it is destroying something. It's showing great physical force. That's a great adjective you can use in your writing. So we're going to start our story, Superstorms, by Seymour Simon. It's a nonfiction text, and it's nonfiction because it gives us information and facts about a topic. We're going to be focusing on cause and effects, so while you're reading, I want you to think of some causes and their effects. We're going to read to find out what it's like when there's a superstorm. Okay. The air around us is always moving and changing. We call these changes weather. Storms are sudden, violent changes in the weather. Every second, hundreds of thunderstorms are born around the world. Thunderstorms are heavy rain showers. They can drop millions of gallons of water in just 1 minute. So what causes a thunderstorm? Well, my text tells me that thunderstorms are sudden and violent changes of weather. So what do you think the effects of a thunderstorm's heavy rains might be? If there's heavy rains in a thunderstorm, it might cause flooding. At first, I didn't really understand why the thunderstorms are born every second. So how is that possible? To understand this section better, I had to reread it. So I'm going to reread it. So when I read this by myself, I didn't really understand what the story was saying. It says, every second, hundreds of thunderstorms are born around the world. Thunderstorms are heavy rain showers. They can drop millions of gallons of water in just 1 minute. So when I reread it, I see that the air around us is always moving and changing. Storms are sudden changes in the weather, and thunderstorms happen all around the world. We're on page 414. During a thunderstorm, lightning bolts can shoot between clouds and the ground. A bolt of lightning is 50,000 degrees. That's 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. Lightning can destroy a tree or a small house. It can also start fires in forests and grasslands. So I think I found a cause and effect. What are some effects of lightning during a thunderstorm? Lightning can destroy houses and start fires. That's what our text tells us. So what causes the lightning to do so much? Well, the lightning is 50,000 degrees and it's 5 times hotter than the sun. So the cause would be that the lightning is 5 times hotter than the sun and 50,000 degrees. And the effect would be that lightning destroys houses and fires. We're going to keep going. 416 and 417. Thunder is the sound lightning makes as it suddenly heats the air. You can tell how far away lightning is. Count the seconds between the flash of light and the sound of thunder. 5 seconds equal 1 mile. So if you can count 5 seconds in between the flash of the light and the sound of the thunder, that's 1 mile away of the lightning. So I don't know how counting seconds between lightning and thunder tells me about a storm's distance. So I'm going to reread my passage to help. Thunder is the sound lightning makes as it suddenly heats the air. You can tell how far away lightning is. Count the seconds between the flash of the light and the sound of thunder. 5 seconds equals 1 mile. So when I reread that, I can see that if I count more seconds, then there's more distance between lightning and thunder, the further away the storm is. Page 418 and 419. Hailstones are chunks of ice that are tossed up and down by the winds of some thunderstorms. Nearly 5,000 hailstorms strike the United States every year. They can destroy crops and damage buildings and cars. Hail can be the size of a marble or larger than a baseball. In July 1995, a fast-moving group of thunderstorms hit New York State. Winds reached speeds of 100 miles per hour. Over 3,000 lightning bolts struck in 1 minute, and millions of trees were uprooted or snapped in two. Thunderstorms sometimes give birth to tornadoes. Inside a storm, a funnel-shaped cloud reaches downward. Winds inside a tornado can spin faster than 300 miles per hour. These winds can lift cars off of the ground and rip houses apart. So what are some of the effects of tornadoes? Well, tornadoes can lift cars off the ground. They can rip houses apart. So what causes the tornado to do all of that violent damage? The wind inside of a tornado can spin faster than 300 miles per hour. So, for our cause, the wind inside of the tornado can spin faster than 300 miles per hour is the cause. And the effect is that tornadoes lift cars off the ground and rip houses apart. 422 and 423. More than 1,000 tornadoes strike the United States each year. Most of them form during spring and summer. In April 1974, nearly 150 tornadoes struck 13 states east of the Mississippi River. More than 300 people were killed and 5,000 were injured. Nearly 10,000 homes were destroyed. Television and radio stations often give early alerts. A tornado watch means that one may strike during the next few hours. A warning means a tornado has been seen by people or on radar. During a tornado warning, you should find shelter in a basement or a closet. So the number of tornadoes in the United States per year, there's a map key to show you by color how many more they have. The map shows the number of tornadoes that hit the United States every year. So in California, it looks like we have less than one tornado per year. So what are some of the problems that people face when there's a tornado? People are in danger when there's a tornado. Television and radio stations give out the warning signals so that people can find a safe place to stay during the storm. 426 and 427. This photograph of a hurricane was taken in space looking at Earth. Hurricanes are the deadliest storms in the world. They kill more people than all other storms combined. Hurricanes stretch for hundreds of miles. They have winds of between 74 and 200 miles per hour. The eye of a hurricane is the quiet center of the storm. Inside the eye, the wind stops blowing, the sun shines, and the sky is blue. But beware, the storm is not over yet. So what are the effects of a powerful hurricane? Hurricanes can wash away beaches, boats, and houses. We're going to keep reading. Hurricanes are born over warm ocean waters from early summer to mid-fall. When they finally reach land, their pounding waves wash away beaches, boats, and houses. Their howling winds bend and uproot trees and telephone poles. Their heavy rain causes floods. Turn your page. In August 1992, Hurricane Andrew smashed into Florida and Louisiana. Over 200,000 people were left homeless. In the Pacific Ocean, hurricanes are called typhoons. In April of 1991, a typhoon hit the country of Bangladesh. Over 1 million homes were damaged or destroyed. More than 130,000 people died. Blizzards are huge snowstorms that have winds of at least 35 miles per hour. Usually at least 2 inches of snow fall per hour. Temperatures are at 20 degrees or lower. Falling and blowing snow make it hard to see in a blizzard. I want you to pause my video and see if you can find some cause and effects of typhoons, hurricanes, and blizzards. Then you can hit play again. 4:30. In March 1993, a major blizzard struck the entire East Coast. Cold temperatures, high winds, and heavy snows hit from Florida to Canada. Millions of people lost power and spent days in dark, cold homes. Thousands were struck on snowy highways and in airports when planes were grounded. No one can prevent storms, but weather reports can predict and warn us when a storm may hit. The more prepared we are, the safer we will be when the next one strikes. And then there's some science facts about Seymour Simon. So Seymour Simon has been writing about science for children for more than 40 years. He has written more than 200 books and is working on many more. He says that he'll never stop writing. Seymour gets ideas from many places. He says he was always interested in science. For example, Seymour wrote a book called Pets in a Jar because he collected little animals in jars as a boy. Other ideas come from his years as a science teacher. Now his grandchildren give him ideas. One grandson asked for a book about trains. Seymour Simon's book of trains was published soon after. So his purpose of writing is he writes about storms, and I want you to think about why he might write about those storms now that we know more about him. The author's purpose is the reason why an author writes a selection. So I bet Seymour Simon writes to teach us about storms and things that he finds interesting. We learned a lot about storms. We learned about thunderstorms, hailstorms, tornadoes, hurricanes, blizzards. And what are some things that maybe you learned about them? I learned how dangerous they can be, how hurricanes have heavy rain, tornadoes have strong winds, hailstorms have hailstones, and blizzards are huge snowstorms. We learned a lot in this reading, and I think it's a great idea to go back and read it again and try to see if you can find some cause and effects. Maybe you can better understand the story when you reread the story. Make sure to ask yourself questions if you don't understand something. This is a great opportunity for you to grow your brain and keep learning. I'm so excited to hear what you guys think of the story when I talk to you on our Zoom call. Bye! Have a great day. If you need help, text, call, or email Mrs. Gray.